Man, respect my region. Hello, hello. We're back again with another episode of the RMR Podcast. Today is officially episode 139. We've got a very special guest. He goes by the name of Zack Squier. You might have heard of him or his brand out there on the East Coast, folks. Massachusetts, a couple other states. We'll let him explain. As soon as you said Mass, though, Zach, I realized that's definitely where I got the product was last year. Probably Nican, realistically.
Yep. Yeah.
Something along those lines. And guys, we have Squiers Elixirs is in the building. Owner, big boss dog himself, Zach is here. Zach, welcome to the show. How you living today? How cold is it on the East Coast? It's winter.
Thank you for having me, man. Yeah, it's starting to thaw out a little bit. So
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Well, it's a pleasure to have you, brother. I really appreciate your time. I'm excited to chat and get to know you, get to know how you got into all this, how you got into this delicious flavor creation, crafting, mixology game. It's fun because it's like food, bartending, restaurants, experiences, and then you add weed into it. And I love all those things, and now you brought it all together. Zach, talk to the people a little bit. What do you guys do? What do you tell people you guys do at Squiers Elixirs?
So so at a base level, we manufacture cannabis infused beverages, anywhere from beverage mixers to bottled cocktails, lemonades, and we're currently launching a lower dose infused seltzer as well.
Amazing.
Anything in the beverage realm, yeah.
That's sick. And I saw all 100% real fruit.
Yep. Yeah. So all of our products are made with 100% real fruit, organic agave, and in the dispensary channel, all made with solvent-free hash rosin too. So
I didn't know that's a rosin elixir in the adult use markets you operate in.
Yeah. Our whole MO is just using the highest quality ingredients at all times possible.
Wow.
From food to the emulsions to the inputs. Yeah.
What was that like for you balancing that? Because this episode's about dosing and flavor, right? And crafting things, right? So you're like, okay, I want to make a craft product and I want to do it this way. What are some of those layers, and walk me through some of those decisions within that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously rosin is has a lot of flavor, a lot of terpene profile in there. So balancing that is pretty tricky. With our lower dose products, we find that the terpenes pair like perfectly with the fruit. We're definitely leaning more towards the citrusy, fruity terpenes. As we get into the higher dose products, there's no hiding it. I think in the dispensary channel, our higher dose products, people want that rosin flavor. It's like drinking, a nice whiskey. People want that flavor. They want to taste it. But so that's kind of, we have a good balance of products of, from low dosers to high dosers, who maybe some people who aren't looking for that heavy rosin, flower flavor, to the higher dose products where people are kind of looking for that.
What is the dose? You have one of the shots there with you right now. Do you have one of the elixirs?
I do. I have one of our,
I just want to show the size of
cocktails right here.
Perfect. But I just want to show the basic general format there, because whether it's a smaller one or a slightly larger, or we get into the can. What I've come to understand about beverages, and specifically with infused beverages, it's a fine balance of flavors. You've got these terpenes from the cannabis and these compounds there. You've got your ingredients, and you can have like a core ethos over here, and one weird thing on this batch of weed over here, it can totally clash, right?
Yeah. 100%.
What is that like? Like, do you like? Because if every batch of cannabis is different, how do we maintain that consistency in the beverage world?
It's super difficult. And I think a lot of it comes from the emulsions people are using too. I think some emulsion companies or house emulsions, they add some things that not necessarily aren't very, are a little distasteful. They don't taste very good and kind of add like a more bitter flavor. But we do all of our emulsions in-house. So we're not we kind of pride ourselves in not really adding anything to our emulsions. We use a combination of time, temperature, and RPMs of our emulsification to kind of create a shelf-stable nano emulsion. So that we have that going for us, to where we're not adding other ingredients in that kind of change the flavor profile. So we're just dealing with the terpenes and the cannabis flavor, essentially.
It's like, how does one, like, is there strains? Are you just looking for, like, is it the right balance of just in the middle? Because and I asked this because when I was a bud tender in Washington, right back in Seattle, I
Yeah.
have this very vivid memory of this group of people that made edibles, and they were really well respected there. But they always said they like to use this strain called Critical Mass because it was this perfect balance of hybrid cannabinoids, terpenes, and it wasn't too volatile in the flavor space for the balancing act that they had to
Yeah.
figure out, right?
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? Because you're just not walking into the distro at some buying packs, right? It's a whole different realm.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it is hard because I wish we could do strain specific. We just burn through so much. We've yet to find a manufacturing, grower extracting partner who can handle that. But we're definitely, leaning, we're always, smelling, tasting, trying to use the most consistent, strains and plants, always typically hybrids. But it is a balance. I mean, we have ran some and been like, this is a little too intense, it's just a little too bitter or gassy, but for the most part, I think, that since we use real fruit and real ingredients, it almost just like pairs well with it. Like it doesn't alter too much. I've never received a complaint once or any comments or concerns of it,
it's like a threshold. I would imagine you kind of have your bump. I always refer to bowling and bumpers. You kind of have your bumper numbers that keep it safe. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think we've done a great job with that, and I think it's just they harmonize well together. I think obviously fruit has its own terpenes, kind of pairs with the terpenes in the cannabis, and kind of just creates a entourage effect, if you will.
Was there research that you did? I'm sure that there was, but could you describe the research that went into, like, okay, maybe this one goes with this one? Was there, or was it guesswork, or was there something online already? How did that go?
I wish I could say, there's more science to it. There's a lot of just trial and error. And
we love that. We love that.
A lot of R&D and tasting, and a lot of R&D on it. Sure.
Okay, let's get into one or two of these fun questions real quick.
Yeah.
What was the most awful balancing that you did in the beginning when it was an R&D? Do you remember what was that like? Oh, we tried this flavor and it was this rosin and it just did not work, and it was like, but we were really hopeful, we really wanted that one, and it was just epic fail. Was there one of those that you can think of?
I mean, nothing crazy on the rosin side, but I would say probably the most epic flavor fail was our kiwi flavor. This is probably like 4 years ago at this point. It just did not pair well with like the terpenes and the cannabis taste. And not to mention, our products are all shelf stable, so we heat them to create a shelf stable product. Kiwi just turned straight up brown, after adding the heat to it.
So it's this balancing act then too of what happens over time, because it's got to have a product shelf life.
Exactly. It was it didn't look good or taste good. So
that's so interesting, man.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? Okay, so Zach, let's circle back a little bit here. We've already dived into who you guys are, a little bit about what y'all do, and that's great. We'll come back to the brand and business.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? Because the brand's literally named after your last name, right? How does what were you doing before? What was that day when it was like, we're doing it? Like, tell me a little bit about that story. Paint the picture for us.
I'm a chef by trade. Been in the restaurant industry for my entire life, until as of recently starting this company. And I've always had a huge passion for food and beverage, and obviously a passion for cannabis as well. Had my fair share of trouble when I was a youngin', and stepped away from that, and really went all in the restaurant industry. And one thing led to another. Cannabis started to become a lot more accepted, a lot more legal, and kind of started to lean into that. And we, I wanted to, I obviously would, at this point, Maine was not recreational yet. It was just medical. And I'd go in these medical dispensaries, and every product I saw sitting on the shelf was just kind of like made with just kind of terrible ingredients, food coloring, artificial flavors. And this is like the medical industry we're talking about. I'm like, why are all these literally medicine for people, like pumped full, like cancer causing ingredients and chemicals? I'm like, I was like, we got to create a product here. So one thing led to another. We launched as a savory edible company, kind of more my traditional background as a chef. We launched with a sweet chili sriracha mango honey barbecue sauce. We had cooking butters. We had olive oils, more geared towards my traditional background. And beverages has always interested me. You know, I've also worked as a bartender, and, you know, alcohol has always been a prevalent thing in the restaurant industry. You know, I always thought of, you know, cannabis was a great alternative, and cannabis beverages weren't really, you know, that big at that point, like they are now. But, you know, one thing led to another. We put out a cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving one year. I think it was like 2020 roughly. And I just put out a drink recipe. I was like, hey, don't get stuck with, you know, cranberry sauce after the holidays. Here's like a grapefruit spritz to make with your cranberry, you know, from your cranberry sauce. And
wow.
And I didn't think anything of it. Didn't think twice, you know. And then fast forward probably 3 months, I started getting DMs and emails like, hey, we want more of that cranberry sauce. I'm like, yo, it's March. Like, why do you want cranberry sauce? They're like, we want to make more of those cocktails. I'm like, that's when a light bulb went off. And I was like, people want a real ingredient fruit, you know, beverage made with, you know, real fruit, rosin. That's when we launched our flagship products, our drink mixers. And
powerful, man.
Yeah, it's just kind of
what a moment there too. They say it's as simple as like, this person they're asking for more demand, demand. And if you really listen to what they're asking, again, meet them where they're at, folks.
Yeah,
and it can be really powerful. And I think this is an example of, you know, getting to see your passion shine. Yeah. Right. And now too, like those other form factors, as great as they are, right? Those other products. Yeah. They're not unit movers in cannabis. Those are passion products for sure. And they can be amazing. Yeah. They could be the best things in the world, be so effective, but they just don't get the love because people that smoke weed buy groceries at the grocery store and they buy weed at dispensaries.
Exactly. Right? And that's what we found. You know, I was still working full-time as a chef. I was renting a kitchen by the hour at like, you know, literally 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. to make these products. Yeah. And I was like, we're booming, you know, but I was like, at this point, I think we were doing like, I was stoked to hit like $5,000 a week in sales, but I was like, I know this isn't sustainable business. Like I'm not gonna be able to quit my job and you know, pursue this. So I was like, you know, we got to get something like their nightly gummy, their nightly joint, you know, something that people are using daily, that people want to consume daily, and on the regular. And obviously a bottle of hot sauce, people loved it. People asked for uninfused, but like that would sit in their fridge for 3 months. You know, it wasn't a sustainable business in the sense of, you know, being more than just a side hustle essentially. Yeah. And this was kind of like, I mean, good thing I didn't just decide to make more cranberry sauce. I kind of clicked in my head to, you know, launch a true drink mixer. Yeah. It's kind of just grown over the years, and, you know, here we are.
Now, how cool is that, man? Like playing around in the kitchen, cooking in the kitchen in a career, bartending, playing around at home, learning, because you got to learn how to make the drink. So you got to practice. That's part of it, right? I know bartending is not just you get to hop in there. Like you got to kind of do it a little bit.
Yeah,
and not like I won't even go the other direction. But anyway, that going back to that cranberry, it makes me think of flavors. It makes me think of all the fruit. Walk me through your fruit lineup. What's on the palette for Squier's Elixirs
right now? So our base, we have our 4 base mixers for our flagship products. We have our blueberry lemon elixir, which is our #1 seller. So it's made with 100%.
That's the one I had.
Nice. Yeah. So it's made with 100% wild Maine blueberries. Probably next up, we won best beverage at the Harvest Cup with, is our pink pineapple. Kind of like our take on like a pink lemonade. Yeah. Made with fresh pineapple, raspberries, pink grapefruit, lemons. And then we have our mandarin mango classic, pretty self-explanatory, kind of our tropical-esque flavor. And then we have, you know, other classic, our raspberry lime, which is, you know, they all do really well. Like those are like our 4 kind of just home-based flavors. And, you know, they all kind of like every location we sell at has a different bestseller, which is interesting. It's not like one's the clear, you know, front runner. And then from there
you're saying all these flavors right now. You know what I got? You know what I'm going to have to do? Yeah. I'm going to have to pull them up. We got to show the people real quick. Could we walk me through what we're looking at here? That's that blueberry lemon, right?
Blueberry lemon, yeah. Then we got our mandarin mango.
Woo-wee!
Raspberry lime, yeah.
Oh my God, that raspberry lime looks. I feel like I'm looking at Hawaii right there.
Yeah, and that's the, you know, we struggle with a long time with color because, like I said, we use heat treatment in our glass bottles, no plastic, we use heat treatment to make these products shelf stable. And, if something goes over a certain temperature, it turns brown, you know what I mean? So finding that perfect balance, and also if it's hot too long, changes color. So finding that perfect balance. Scalability is difficult, but we found a way to, we have a team of rock stars, and, our production team is just, amazing of just taking what I built and executing it perfectly, and scaling it. So, super. And the great photography on there is Derek Bissonette. He's also a fellow chef. Yeah, he's also a fellow chef, and he's done great work for us. He just gets, exactly what we're looking for. So, yeah,
gluten-free.
Yeah.
Fast acting. That's because of the emulsion, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk on that? You want to expand on that? Can you share any details? You don't have to, because I know that's part of the IP. It's all good.
Yeah. That one's a little proprietary, but just know, we're not adding any chemicals or additives to basically create a stable emulsion. We're utilizing, like I said, the time, temperature, RPMs, and activating the natural pectin that's already in the fruit, which is an emulsifier. That's kind of the benefit of using real fruit. It's already there.
It has content in there that can help it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I mean, and we pack a lot of, like we have 800 milligram 8-ounce elixirs in Maine, the Maine medical markets. We pack a lot of THC in there, and our emulsions hold strong. So pretty proud of that one.
How cool is that, dude? And then, okay, so we've got these elixirs here.
Yeah.
$15 for the 20 milligram THC, 20 milligram CBD. And that's great for 100 milligrams right there. Solid.
Well, the hundreds, I think 29. So this is our hemp drive line.
Yeah.
Which again, right, yeah, we can touch on. Obviously, our whole MO has from day one just been using real ingredients, hash rosin. This whole hemp market of just being like, wow, we can actually scale this business like an actual business and not have to set up shop in every state. Has kind of piqued our interest, and we've dabbled a little bit in the hemp space of still using the highest quality ingredients we can get, inputs we can get, all of that. But we're in a unique space of actively growing our dispensary in like legal regulated space, as well as being able to ship product to Texas. Like that's cool.
This is what I want right here.
Sleepy time, yeah. That's a great stuff. Yeah, that one we it's blackberry, lime, and we brew French sapphire blue, French lavender, and Egyptian chamomile into it, as well as a CBN, CBD, and hash rosin blend.
Oh my gosh, this looks so good, man.
Yeah,
hey, that's the one I want to do. I want to do a little thing with you on this one, bro, because I use sleep products every day because I got sitting and back pain and all this all the drama, right, of getting older. And but I sleep really great on 1-to-1-to-1 ratios, but I still like I'll take a 5-5-5 wild gummy or whatever brand. I don't care at this point. Whoever's got 5-5-5s for $20, I'm buying it. And so that's kind of like my thing. 100 milligrams, $20. I want the 10 gummies or the ability to bite half and do it. But I'm only it's like that 5-5-5 gives me about 4 hours of really, really great restful sleep. But I'll be real with you, bro. The best gummy I had for sleep was Dialed In Gummies out of Colorado because they nano emulsified 2 of the 3 cannabinoids and not the CBD one at the end.
That's smart.
Interesting, right?
That one kind of lingers in your.
Yes, they wanted you to fall asleep quick, and the THC to do it what it has to do initially. Yeah. But they said that once it starts wearing off, that CBD kind of eased it out. Right?
Yeah.
Called a soft landing almost, if you would. And that right there for me and the lady was the best sleep that I've had on anything so far.
I love that.
I really want to try your guys' products because I think that the format of eating it through the kidney, either way, no matter what they all say, the number's changing because it's got to go through my kidneys, right?
For sure, and
all that stuff, right?
To touch on that, we do so we nano emulsify the THC in this. We do not nano emulsify the CBN or the CBD. So that's kind of cool.
That's some of the secrets here to get some of that stuff. That's what we're finding on our end on the consumer side is that. So this is where that's great. I noticed that I had the best, most restful sleep, and I would wake up white. They say that people hate the sleep stuff for the hangover, right? The grogginess.
Yeah.
Man, I wake up and I was like, yo, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Like, what's up, man? Like, oh gosh, it was great, man. I'm so excited. And this is going to hit even faster than a gummy.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the THC is going to hit you fast, put you right to sleep. Like I said, and we also have those, natural, not cannabinoids. Sorry. We have those natural, lavender and chamomile in there that just, also help with
those
sleep.
are just ingredients, natural ingredients.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you see people doing melatonin, things like that. We like to go the more natural route and use,
Dude, I have inception dreams on melatonin. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had that dream in a few 4 to 6 months. But man, that shit fucked with my brain for a couple years after eating that kind of consistently.
Yeah. I don't fuck with that.
It created an entire dream that is actually traumatic and creates anxiety. But just adding melatonin into my life did that. It was so wild. Okay, let me continue along with the show here, folks. Everybody, I really appreciate y'all for hanging along. I'm Joey J. Ping. This is Zack Squier. Make sure y'all tap in, man. Squire's Elixirs, drinkdifferent.co. Go tap in, check it out. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of these trends that we're seeing in drinks right now. We obviously, you guys are, it's not a trend, right? But it's the truly healthy ingredients. I don't want to just say natural, but these healthy ingredients. They create a true ecosystem, a foundation based on just pure, awesome, healthy ingredients.
Yeah.
What are some of the shitty trends we're seeing in cannabis that we want people to stay away from? We don't have to name any brands, but what are the trends? What do we want to, like, you created this to solve a problem, right? So you said earlier there was all these things on the market and it was just a bunch of ingredients for the most part that it just created more problems for people at the end of the day, right? And that's kind of an American product ecosystem, right? We solve something and it creates all these other, what do the big pharmacy commercials say? We solve Crohn's and IBS, but here, conditions that it also fucks up, right? What are some of the things that what do we want to see changed? What are some of those bad trends that are in cannabis beverages today?
Oof. I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily bad trends. I mean, again, we're always going to push for just using real ingredients. That's like our whole MO. And I think, like you said, there's, like we spoke about before, there's a lot of
ingredients that we want to stay from. Is it botanical terpenes? Absolutely. Is there anything specific that is unhealthy for us?
I mean, I think I don't love all the other, in the hemp space, a lot of people are coming, not a lot, but there are people coming out with, not necessarily tested products. Again, the hemp space is right when you're getting it from the right sources, clean products, selling it the right way, not, slapping Delta 8 in there and just selling it, as is, not tested. But yeah, the synthetic flavors, the synthetic, sweeteners, I'm not a fan of. I've always just been like, real tastes better. And it's better for you, We
got a question from the audience here, coming in from Kiara Jefferson, linked in. I'm going to throw it on the thing here. Do y'all list out the terp profiles in each of the drinks as well? If you do, if you don't, why not?
We honestly haven't. We haven't tested that, before. That was honestly the first time we've ever been asked for that. To be honest, we test for a lot in the state. We do get obviously the terpene profiles from our sources. I've yet to test like what actually translates over after, in the format of a beverage.
How cool would it be to see how much that that mandarin mango pairs up with a high myrcene thing? Right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, thank you for bringing that up because I honestly would like to know that. Again, I know it's there flavor profile wise, but I've yet to
because it's not required by the state. It's this balance of like, man, we're trying to survive and make money. We don't need to do that realistically, 100%. Right? And that's an honest part of it. I'll say it for anybody out there.
100%.
I actually, for years, and I still do this. When we review products, if you don't have the terps listed, I have every right to get you for it because some states it's required. Other states, brands just chose to be proactive. To not do it, not do it is a decision. And it's okay to not do something because the business needs it or because we feel like it doesn't necessarily add or it's not needed, right? I'm perfectly okay with any part of it.
That's a tricky part. Like we have a balance of, our products cost a lot more to make than, other products sitting on the shelf next to it. It just truly does using real stuff. So, and rosin, but we can't charge double the price. You know what I mean? We need to be competitive. We want to be. We want to be the same price as a lesser product. You know, we don't want to be a premium brand, but priced appropriately. And yeah, if getting into going above and beyond on like that type of stuff, like every batch would probably get a little costly and definitely cut into our margin, you know, extensively. But at least every once in a while, I would definitely like to see what actually comes through on the you know, the beverage side. But to answer your question, we do have the terpene profiles of the rosin we get, just not on the actual, you know, our finished product, I guess.
We were talking a little bit earlier about dosing. You got these low dose or lower dose elixirs. You've got the higher dose elixirs. You talked about RPMs and temperature and this balance of things there. It's honestly a little bit high level for people that don't know anything about that, right? And so we think about this general truth about when you only have so much liquid and you increase the potency of it with cannabis, it's another balancing of flavor, right? So to be at the 20 milligrams or in the 2020s, right, or whatever it is, that's a balancing act in its own thing. To go up to 100, right, is a whole nother situation in doing that. How do you? Is it the similar thing where you just follow us like the same method? And
like we
rebalancing
same method
of the natural flavors alongside the cannabis again.
100%. I mean, and again, like we don't hide the flavor when it comes to our higher dose products. Like people buying, what we found at least, people buying, you know, people wanting 100 plus milligrams at a time aren't necessarily steering away from that. And you know, because if we needed to dilute that down to completely cancel out the flavor, you'd be drinking a gallon, you know, to get.
That was my other question. Why does nobody do that? Because, like, bro, I can go to Chick-fil-A right now and I can get a Chick-fil-A sweet tea or their lemonade, right, by a jug, and I'll spend the $6.99 to $7.99 that they charge me for that sweet tea. So why can't I buy that form factor? Is it a size thing? Is it a liquid thing? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, we don't do that.
Nobody does that. There's nobody with a gallon product anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I have seen it. But I mean, you got to think a lot of these places, they have vaults, you know, I mean, like they need to move everything out of there, you know, out of the storefront. Some states you need to lock everything up at night. You know what I mean? So it's like having those some people just have a room where they need to fit all that.
Why do they only buy fridges that hold dabs?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, luckily our products are shelf stable, so we're not competing with shelf space. Obviously, we like to keep refrigerated at the point of sale, but you know that's not you know.
That's so funny.
But I think it's the large format. I think we're starting to see a little more and more like a spirits type of way, but still, you know, it's probably like a, you know,
I feel like so much more milk gets sold right in the jugs, like just that big bottle format factor, and even like the Crystal Geyser waters or whatever it is, you know, like I wish I had one right here. I think, but like it's just crazy to me that hasn't.
I have one.
It's crazy to me that hasn't been done, because I would, if that was the case, if I didn't have to buy in unit by unit in the small thing, I would buy like the Gatorade packet.
Yeah, a 5-gallon water dispenser. I mean, and also I think it comes down to like people being able to be profitable. When you're buying bulk like that, you like people want to move units. Yeah. That's the key to being profitable, actually being able to, you know,
speaking game, Zach, you sharing the truth here right now. You're speaking truth. It is. It's so unfair. The way the system's set up in the legislation in most of the states, I won't just paint the picture for everybody and just make it generic, but in a lot of the states, they want us to sell the cheapest shit in volume as fast as possible and have kind of a race to the bottom everywhere. Unfortunately, it's so frustrating. Okay, let's get into some good fun ones. All right, here we go. We talked about infusion, we talked about emulsion, we talked about the dosing, we talked about high dose, we talked about some trends, or I tried to get you to talk about some trends. The trend is choose healthy ingredients, folks. It's better for you. That's it at the end of the day. Let's get into some fun stuff, right? We're music. You said you like music, right? What's the genre of music that you find yourself bumping? You were at 36 hours doing testing. Was there music on in the office? Or what's up?
There was some music. We had a lot of early 90s rap going. I'm a Deadhead at heart. I love the Grateful Dead. But I love, you know, a lot of everything really.
Okay, if you were gonna have Squiers, the Squiers Fest, powered and presented by Squiers Elixirs, and it was your own music festival. Maybe there was food, maybe there was cannabis, about all the things, right? Who's performing? Who are your 3 headliners, bro?
Ooh, 3
You gotta have
headliners.
Grateful Dead. You're doing Grateful Dead. That's gotta be. Is that on a
Gotta
Friday or is it
Grateful
Saturday?
Dead.
What are you doing? Or both?
Wait, who? What'd you say? Oh,
Yeah,
Friday
who's the
and
Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday, and then who's your Sunday?
I've been listening to a lot of Goose. Goose is a big one. I love me some Krongbin.
I like that as well. I saw them here in LA.
Hell yeah.
Are you a King Gizzard fan?
I do like King Gizzard. Yeah,
I
King
rock
Gizzard.
with King Gizzard.
I missed their show last year. Yeah, they came to Portland. I had to miss it for I forget why, but I had to skip it. Oh man, you gotta look at my playlist here. But
okay, last one, Goose, Krongbin, and you just gonna go Grateful Dead?
I'm gonna go. Wait, you said Goose already? That's my jam. I'm gonna go. I've been bumping a lot of old Lil Wayne actually. The Carter 3.
Carter 3, Weezy, baby. Okay.
Big spectrum right there. But
if you could sponsor or collab with any, celebrity or music artist, what would be the most authentic one for you to choose, and why would you, and why would you really pick them? What do you like about that collab?
I'm gonna say either another big one I listen to is Stick Figure. I've been reggae. I'm gonna say Goose. I really like what they're doing. I think it's like cutting edge of the jam band scene. Good mix of great jams, great lyrics, and I think that would be it.
Do any of these flavors that you guys created, do they, does it represent your personality? Does it represent your favorite drinks from the bar? Was it inspired from just demand from other people? What's up with the flavors that you guys ran with?
I think if anything's like more inspired, I would say the blueberry lemon. It's kind of like our ode to Maine.
Cool.
Obviously, we get all of our blueberries straight from Maine, harvested. Maine's kind of known for their wild blueberries. And that's kind of a flavor we're bringing everywhere. And honestly, everywhere we bring it, people love it, So like I said, I mentioned, there's not a real front runner of all the flavors. They all do really well. Blueberry might have to be like, if there was one, that might have to be it. People,
you just said everywhere you bring it. I don't remember if we brought this up earlier yet, but what the state that you operate in?
So our home base is in Maine. We manufacture in Maine. We manufacture in Massachusetts. These are the regulated dispensary markets where you'll find our rosin products. We're launching in Rhode Island this year. We got not yet, but New Jersey, New York, Connecticut lined up, so we can capture that Northeast.
Let's go, baby.
And then we ship our hemp-derived products.
The Northeast worldwide. Let's go, man. You got your little area out there, man. I'll tell you what, respectmyregion.com respects your region up there in the Northeast, baby. Let's go, man. That is exciting. It's beautiful there. The fruit is good. You're using great ingredients. You got doing it for the right reasons. Like, where do you see yourself taking it, man? What's on the agenda for 2025 for you guys?
Like I said, launching Rhode Island, maybe one more state in the Northeast. We are looking at some partners out west too. We've been offered, different manufacturing deals out west, but at the end of the day, we just want to work with the right partners who have the same priorities, and we're never going to sacrifice quality. So we're interested out there, but we're really going to expand on this hemp space. It is, like I said, we're in a unique position of growing both markets. Some of these brands are going all in on hemp. They're like, these low dose products don't do well in dispensaries, which makes sense. Why buy a 4-pack of 5 milligram seltzers when it's the same price as a 100 milligram pack of gummies? So it is tough for them. That's why I respect the hemp space for products like this. Yeah, selling THCA flower, I'm not a fan of that. I think that's, I understand why a lot of people hate it, because it's, these large companies or any companies, getting licensed in states spend a lot of money, time, and effort to make that happen. Then someone can just go sell it, in a corner store. It's like, what the fuck? And I totally get that. We're there too. We've also spent the money and got licensed in states. But I think, specifically low dose beverages, I think that's the space that is where the hemp market should and will, hopefully be. But yeah, really going all in on that. I have this. You guys are going to be the first ones to see this. We have our new
RMR exclusive, everybody coming through. Squiers, Elixirs, tap in.
Yeah, we got our new. These are our new seltzers coming out. Flavors of our mixers in a finished format drink. We're able to do a lot more of that fruit flavor, real fruit, agave. It's actually got organic prebiotics in it, and all natural electrolytes from pink Himalayan salt. So it's really an all-in-one, 100% real fruit seltzer, 5 milligrams THC, 10 milligrams CBD, naturally hemp derived, no synthetic, no weird shit, just good stuff. So super excited to get those out. Those will be in the hemp space first, and then we're going to launch them hopefully with some rosin in dispensaries. Hopefully have a balance, but yeah, super excited about those. We're also expanding our portfolio with some products I'm not going to mention yet, but they're not a beverage.
Ooh,
so we'll see those soon.
Another RMR exclusive, folks. We'll have to bring Zack back on here again soon, right before that happens, so we can drop the news, guys. This is going to be good. I know what it is, but we'll keep it under wraps for now for the sake of me violating my official NDA that I verbally agreed to. And so, folks, again, man, great human, great business, great products. They really, really strong core values, all centered around health. Zack, I think about your chef background. I think about your bartending background. I think about things that I know nothing about besides cooking at home and just taking ice cubes and mixing fruit juices together or just squirting all the soda into the same cup. And it's like at a bare minimum, guys, your beverage has to be more than just sugar and weed and water and a bunch of preservatives. You guys got to think about what you're putting in your bodies. I was talking with somebody very passionately yesterday that owns multiple dispensaries and soon in a couple of different states about how at this time in her life, how much more important that becomes. And so I think about the messages that continue to be passed down to, younger individuals like us. And we as leaders have to share that how important it is to be healthy, how important it is to consider what you're putting in your body. We want clean weed. We want safe cannabis. We want healthy beverages. We want good, healthy, effective, potent, if that's what you want, or just accurate dosed products. And I think it's a fine balance of finding that. And that's what today's episode is all about, folks. Dosing, flavor, this balancing of those things to create really quality craft elixirs. Zack, before we get you out of here, I'd like to give people the floor to tell people, and to give them a chance to tell the audience, what they represent, what they're about, anything that can really help fill in the gaps that we might not have talked about today in terms of maybe they don't know who you guys are. Maybe they're just tuning in right now. You know what I mean? And so I'll give you the floor. Thank you again for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you. And, obviously, like you said, we covered pretty much all of it, but to go off of what you said, our whole MO is using, 100% real ingredients. Obviously, when it comes to cannabis, people are focused on, the cannabis, and we, take that into consideration as well, using rosin, solvent-free live rosin when we can. But, realistically, edibles are, 99.99% of what you're consuming is the food ingredient. Like cannabis, like that's where we wanted to create something that we would consume even if it didn't have cannabis in it. Like I'm not necessarily munching on Sour Patch Kids. No offense if you are, but I think it comes down to just using real ingredients, creating a high quality product you're proud of, whether it, and at the end of the day, we want to create products where we have kind of a rule. It's like, would you drink that or eat that if there wasn't cannabis in it? And if it's no, we're not doing it. Like that's kind of, our whole MO. So, real fruit, real flower, no funny business.
Hey, real fruit, real flower, no funny business, man. And I've just shout out to, again, the commitment to using rosin. You had the opportunity to go distillate to save money and make more money, bro. You had the opportunity to do live resin during that wave because you've been around long enough.
Yeah.
You could have done a variety of things. The commitment to rosin, I applaud you because it's the most expensive form factor. It requires the most work. It does deliver a strain-specific experience. But with rosin, again, we're talking ingredients. So, folks, give cannabis beverages a chance. I encourage you to buy some of these low-dose products. Drink half of it. Mix it with a little bubbly. Mix it with some your little a Sprite, if you would. Mix it with, or just drink it straight up. Or do whatever it is that you want to do. I'm not going to force it on you. But I'll tell you this. I took a swig of the blueberry lemon and I loved it, and I mixed it in with some kind of Costco Spindrift bubbly pop, whatever it is. I mixed it in with something like that. It was fire, and then it was so good that I was like trying to drip it in my mouth because I was then craving how delicious it was. There's some fruit that is tasty enough that you salivate and want it. And even thinking about it right now, I'm doing it again because guess what, Zach? I eat blueberries all the time. I eat them all the time.
Yeah. Real fruit hits different, man.
That's a shirt. That's a campaign for you. Real fruit hits different. Today, folks, we got hit by some real fruit facts. Make sure y'all tap in, man. Zack Squier on LinkedIn. If you need him, his name's right above his video, right there, right down there below the video there for you guys. Tap in. Drinkdifferent.co, right? Drinkdifferent.co to go buy the products. Where can people go visit online to check out where your cannabis versions are at?
We're building out a separate site for that, but it's essentially the same products, just
same product, right? But just with the rosin in it. Okay, so website to come, folks. We'll support and share that. Follow, and subscribe to us. And I will keep you guys tuned in. Feel free to reach out. We're gonna be supporting Zack here along his journey. Cool dude, great energy, great choice in music, great choice in flavors. Real fruit hits different. Make sure y'all tap in. We'll see y'all